Hello and welcome back to yet another episode of Horse Sense. For those of you joining us for the very first time, this is the show that brings you all the action from the Singapore race course on and off the track, plus lots more. Like on the show, for example, we make a trip to Royal Ascot, but we begin right here at Kranji. The Group 2 Stewards Cup on the 31st of May saw 8 thoroughbreds come into the parade ring for the contest to be run over 1400 metres on the turf. The Alvin Tan trained War Affair led the pack with Alan Munro in the saddle. Number 2, the Michael Clemens trained Pachelbel's Cannon had Baron Foster on his back. Number 3, Happy Money, also trained by Alvin Tan. Number 4, Husey, trained by David Hill and ridden by Corey Brown. Number 5, Golden Brilliant, ridden by Saifuddin, trained by John O'Hara. Number 6, Absolutely. Number 7, the Steve Burridge trained Gobi Ranger. Number 8, Night Ranger, trained by Michael Clemens and ridden by Michael Rod. War Affair was the standout in the parade ring. He was coming into this race with 12 victories from 17 starts, which had included the Group 1 Lion City Cup on the 26th of April on his reappearance over 1200 metres. Over a trip that was clearly too short for him, he was expected to go back-to-back here. Pachelbel's Cannon was making only his second career start. He had run at the back of the field on his debut in the Kranji Sprint, a Group 3 race over 1200 metres on the turf on the 5th of April, and would have to be at his very best to match up with the big boys here. Happy Money was coming into this on the back of a victory in the Singapore Airlines Airbus 380 Stakes, a Kranji Stakes A over 1200 metres on the international weekend. He would, however, have a harder task this time out with the additional 3 kilos on his back and the up in grade. Husey was coming into this on the back of a victory in the Group 3 Admiralty Classic Stakes over 1600 metres on the 26th of April. A horse who's constantly improving, Husey was expected to run a big one here. Golden Brilliant had won his last start in the Open Benchmark 89 over 1200 metres on the turf on the 10th of April. But this was better company and he was carrying 3.5 kilos more. Absolutely, on the other hand, was coming into this race on the back of a 4th place finish that was in the Arenti 2006 Open Stakes Benchmark 83 over 1600 metres, and he would be looking to go better. Gobi Ranger from Steve Burridge's yard had run second last time out in the Singapore Airlines Airbus 330 Stakes, a Class 3 over 1200 metres. This was a tall order considering the massive jump up in grade. And finally, Night Wager, who had run second last time out in a Class 3 like Gobi Ranger, was another who was looking at great improvement to come and win out here. It wasn't long before the horses left the parade ring and made their way to the start to be set away by the starter.
War Affair, a short prize favourite in the Stewards Cup. The starter sends them away, Gobi Ranger and also Happy Money, the best two to begin, but Happy Money is going to go straight to the lead. As expected over Gobi Ranger, Golden Brilliant just being restrained back to third, and Pachelbel's Cannon getting a little keen around the outside for Forster going forward. Husey was next, War Affair kept out of trouble 3 wide from Night Wager, and back to the tail is Absolutely. They swing by the 1,000 metres, and Happy Money just setting a steady tempo shows the way, led by a length and a quarter over Pachelbel's Cannon, a length and a half to Gobi Ranger, Husey down on the inside, then Golden Brilliant. War Affair's been pushed out 4 wide here, followed by Night Wager, and Absolutely back at the tail. Happy Money for Shafiq shows the way as they come down towards the top of the straight over Pachelbel's Cannon. Husey smothered away over on the inside, Gobi Ranger. War Affair strides up audaciously, 4-5 wide, just inside of him is Golden Brilliant. Absolutely trying to get onto the back of War Affair, followed by Night Wager. Into the straight they come, and War Affair moves up on the outside with Golden Brilliant. Absolutely down the outside, Happy Money battling away. 250 metres to go, War Affair. He's got a bit of a fight, surprisingly, from his stablemate Happy Money over on the inside. It's War Affair in front over Happy Money. Cream rises to the top. He's going to be too good, but it wasn't easy. War Affair wins it by a length and a quarter over Happy Money in second.
I think he's a very, very good horse. At this moment of time, we know that, he's the best in Singapore Turf Club. So that's why I look at it. We don't have much pace on this race. So Happy Money was good set a good tempo for the horse, and even though he got caught 4 wide, and I think he still win easy.
War Affair looked extremely impressive considering he travelled wide all through. Up the straight, he always looked dominant, and it wasn't a question of if he'd win, but how easily he would. It's good to see him back to his best en route to the Emirates Singapore Derby.
I'd now like to invite Mr. Harry Elias to present the prizes for the Stewards Cup to the winning owner, and representing Warplane Racing, Ivy Pum. An amazing run with this horse continues. War Affair, who now has won no less than 13 races. Prize money well over $2 million, and the first leg of the 4-year-old challenge goes to War Affair. The winning trainer is Elvin Tan. Another dream run with this horse. That's his third run over 1,400 metres and his third win, and more races to come with the Patrons Bowl and also the Derby, the second and third legs of the 4-year-old challenge. And the winning jockey is Alan Munro. Alan enjoying terrific success here in Singapore down through the last 3 or 4 seasons, and this is a ride he'll want to keep hold of on War Affair. So well done to Alan, Elvin, and also all concerned with Warplane Racing as War Affair takes out the running of the 2015 Stewards Cup.
England over the summer is home to the best sporting events in the world. Cricket and Wimbledon are mere distractions to the greatest horse racing meet across the universe, Royal Ascot. Held in June each year, the royal pageantry is matched by the latest fashions, hospitality, and the crowning of champions. For nowhere in the world can it mean as much as it does to win at Royal Ascot. With a royal baby girl born this year, perhaps it was no surprise that the Queen wore shades of cerise and pink on day one as the meet kicked off in beautiful June sunshine. After all, what is one to say about June, the time of perfect young summer, the fulfillment of the promise of the earlier months, and with as yet no sign to remind one that its fresh young beauty will ever fade. Each race is special, and all 5 days have at least one Group 1 race, with 3 on the very first day: the Queen Anne Stakes, the St James Palace Stakes, both over 1600 metres, and the King's Stand Stakes over a scurry. For Southeast Asia, the Queen Anne Stakes was all the more important as John Moore had travelled his top miler, Abel Friend, from Hong Kong to challenge the best that Europe had to offer, including the best miler from France and last year's English 2000 Guineas winner, Knight of Thunder.
Yes, what a way to start Royal Ascot. They're lined up and away. Here comes When Dwells Slightly, Cougar Mountain as well. And Richard Hughes, as Mick Fitzgerald forecasted, heads into the lead on Tourmore. From Gloria Waits, who's often a front runner, Solo is very handy under Maxime Guillaume, followed in the all-blue jacket by Knight of Thunder, in the yellow cap Esoterique, followed by the Hong Kong challenger. Solo is attacking, so too Knight of Thunder towards the right. They're followed by Esoterique. Abel Friend is under pressure and unable to challenge as they race towards the final furlong here, and Solo has taken over from Knight of Thunder. Esoterique is running on the far side inside the last. Solo just hanging in towards Esoterique. Cougar Mountain runs on well, but it's Solo for France. Solo, this hugely improved horse. Solo wins the Queen Anne under Maxime Guillaume.
Even as Abel Friend found the undulations and underfoot firmness of the English summer too much to handle, France landed the spoils with a 1-2 finish, with Freddie Head's Solo winning impressively.
Oh, I think that's his best race so far, because he had never met such a lot of horses and such good horses, the best in the world. So today is by far his best race. You know, this horse, I want him to last. He's a gelding. He can run only another 2 or 3 seasons at the top. So now maybe we could come to Goodwood, to the Sussex, and then afterwards we'll see. I'm not very keen on going in to Keeneland this year because the race course is very tight, which won't suit him much. So we'll see. We'll see. There's no plan really.
I have a good race. Exactly. We don't go too fast. You don't have a very good pace, but I have a good race behind the leader. Solo don't pull, so it's not a problem for me because he don't pull and he have a very good turn of foot. It's amazing for me and for the trainer and for the owner also because it's not easy to win through Group 1 at Ascot. It's very difficult. So when you can win this race, it's amazing.
For Solo, Glorious Goodwood seemed to be next, but standing in his way would be an emerging giant from Coolmore, coming up next in the St. James Palace Stakes. Before the St. James Palace Stakes, however, we still had the business of speed, and the King's Stand Stakes over a 1,000-meter trip attracted 18 starters. Not surprisingly, this has always been one of the most difficult to read.
The last one slots in. Set. Spirit Quartz a little upset in the gate, and they're away. Shamal Winder, perhaps one of the slowest, Soul Power towards the back over on the far side, as Take Cover blasts off in front from Gold Dream on the far side. Nose Bandit, Hot Streak down the near side. Blue and Yellow Jacket, Stepper Point from Lancelot Delac. Now beginning to pick up far side. White Jacket, red striped sleeves. Inside the final furlong, Medisha Man from Gold Dream. Muthnear on the near side. Soul Power not quite getting there. Racing to the line, Medisha Man. Gold Dream poking up. It's tight. Medisha Man and Gold Dream in a photo. Muthnear probably third.
The 2,000 guineas fell to Coolmore this year, and by all accounts to a very talented juvenile. Relegated in France in the Grand Criterium as a 2-year-old, most who saw him that day knew that he was a juvenile with plenty of promise. Sure enough, as a 3-year-old he delivered, and Glen Eagles slammed his opposition to win the English 2,000 guineas, running at Royal Ascot as the favourite.
And away for the St James's Palace Stakes. The Tharnock is dropped in the early stages. Actor Bante, Make Believe, these to the fore. On the outside is Consort. Glen Eagles just tucked in behind Make Believe as they run through the first furlong. It's Consort who's taken to the front now by Frankie Dettori, who's seeking his 50th Royal Ascot winner. Make Believe in second place, the early pace. Bante on the inside, then Glen Eagles and the Tharnock as they run down the home straight and approach the last 2 furlongs. Consort quickening from the front. Make Believe is not picking up so well. Glen Eagles on the outside, now beginning his run as they head down towards the final furlong and a half. Consort and Frankie Dettori chased down now by Glen Eagles and Ryan Moore on the outside as they enter the final furlong, and Glen Eagles strikes the front from Consort. Running on is Latharnock in third place, but racing up towards the line. What a gorgeous colt this is, and Glen Eagles wins the St James's Palace. Drew away to win by 2.5 lengths, won it comfortably. Tight second.
Glen Eagles proved to be a revelation of sorts, and even Aidan O'Brien could not hide his enthusiasm as he caught up with the winning post team post the race.
Yeah, no, delighted. Obviously we're very happy coming here. Joseph was very happy with him yesterday, and listen, obviously he'd won 2 big races up to now, and lovely ground here. Delighted.
Now, you did say at the press conference that you've been taking a bit of a backseat and you're enjoying it. What's that all about?
No, absolutely. Listen, Joseph and the lads are getting older and getting more mature and ready for more responsibility, and they're taking it. So I'm delighted about that. So I'm starting to see a little bit more about life now. So great team of people. I'm very privileged to be the small part I am.
That's right. You said you've travelled the world but never seen it.
No, that's it, exactly. When we go racing, we go over and back and don't see anything. But now maybe I'll be starting to see a bit of the world.
Well, wonderful. What about the rest of the week at Royal Ascot?
Yeah, hopefully they'll run well. We've 2 rolling in the next, and then Philly found later on in the week, so hopefully they run well.
The second day of Royal Ascot featured the Prince of Wales Stakes, and even with the withdrawal of California Crow, the field still bore a competitive look, with the Great Gatsby, Free Eagle and even Criterion looking for racing space.
We have Criterion, a wonderful horse, Sebring's his sire, Mika's Pride his dam. I own Mika's Pride. He was mated to Mika's Pride and Sebring. He's a byproduct of them, and he was born and bred in New Zealand. I'd like to make a point of that. The Aussies are claiming him, but his first trainer was South African, really, and the second trainer now is Australian. Well, the one on the left here is the New Zealand insignia for a knighthood. It's the Queen was gracious enough to appoint me a Knight of the Realm, and that's the badge and signifies the knighthood. This is the China Horse Club, where I'm a member of the advisory board there. Teo, our king, is our chairman, and I very much enjoy being on there with John Warren, who's the Queen's advisor, and race and bloodstock advisor. And we have some other very notable people on the board, and it's very exciting what's going to happen as we develop the thoroughbred industry in China. Singapore as well, by the way. We've done 2 very good race meetings there, and if Singapore is any guideline as to what's ahead of us in China, it's going to be quite an interesting future.
Also at Royal Ascot, the team bumped into Mr. Teo I King, the founder and chairman of the China Horse Club and part owner of the great champion Australia.
China Horse Club has always been excited to be invited again and again back to Royal Ascot. And this year is especially very special because we have a runner coming up this week, and our members are very excited.
Tell us about that. It's on Saturday, I believe. Last year of Royal Ascot, you could go out with a bang.
Yes, the last day, and we bring, hopefully we'll bring a sprinter here from Australia, and his name is Wangina. And we hope that all goes well with him, and will bring a lot of glory to all our members.
Now, over the years, you've established a bond with the Coolmore team, and that's obviously very important because that bridges a lot of what's happening out here at the very highest level with what you're doing back in China, which is also at the very highest level. Tell us a little bit about that relationship.
Well, Coolmore and us has a very special relationship, goes back many years, and yesterday you can see they have a great winner in the form of Glen Eagle. And going forward, I think we have many others supporters for the International Advisory Council. We have John Warren as our advisory, and he's also the advisor for Her Majesty the Queen. So indeed, I think we do have a good band of people and experience, and we are excited going forward.
The race itself was a humdinger, and all who witnessed it continued to discuss how it was won and lost long after the dust had settled.
A truly international field then for this Group 1 contest. They set off 1.25 miles ahead of them on the white outside Galo Chop. Looks like going forward. Criterion for Australia in the yellow colours. Free Eagle is handy, black with the white sleeves, followed by Western Hymn, the grey Gatsby up the inside. Swing the corner, 2.5 furlongs left to cover. Galo Chop is taken up by Free Eagle, coming there very smoothly indeed, but quickly joined by Western Hymn. Criterion on the far rail, the grey Gatsby in behind them. Spielberg keeping in, Cannon Chase. It's Free Eagle who has taken up now the running from Western Hymn. The grey Gatsby trying to squeeze between them. The race inside the final furlong. Free Eagle by 1.5 lengths. The grey Gatsby coming after and trying to hunt it down. Free Eagle, the grey Gatsby is closing as they head up towards the line. Free Eagle and the grey Gatsby. Free Eagle, they just held on. Free Eagle from the grey Gatsby in a tremendous finish.
The following day was Ladies' Day, and as expected, it also drew the largest crowds. The Gold Cup over 4,000 metres is considered to be the jewel of the Royal Ascot crown, and 12 started for what proved to be yet another exciting finish.
The favourite in black and white colours as they jump away for the Royal Ascot centrepiece, the Gold Cup. Group 1 over 2.5 miles, and in the early strides towards the far side, Forever Now is quickly into stride from Havana Beat and Betheron. With just less than 3 furlongs left to cover, Forever Now find a force. Havana Beat's Forgotten Rules in the noseband, chased by Betheron. Trip to Paris is switched to the far side and coming there quite strongly. Then Kingfisher as they group together. Forgotten Rules comes to claim Forever Now. Trip to Paris on the rail. Then Kingfisher weaving around behind the Betheron coming, and Simonon is blasting down the outside. Trip to Paris on the far side has taken it up under Graham Lee.
For Ryan Moore, who was riding like a man possessed, this was one of the races that he could not get out in time to add to his tally of winners. The final 2 days of Royal Ascot gave us 3 Group 1 races, 2 on Friday and 1 on Saturday. On Friday, the first ever running of the Commonwealth Cup over 1200 meters was followed by the Coronation Stakes for fillies over 1600 meters.
For a lot of cash, ready to go, and away, Tendu misses it. Elval was also slow to go, far side, away well, Gokken and home with the Brave on the near side, Tiggy Wiggy with the grey Cyclone Genesis, far side, Salt Island chasing the front pair on the far side from New Providence, then Pastoral Girl. On the right, Lamato now with his bid with Profitable in the noseband. On the far side, Muhara has come charging through, and Muhara has kept clear on the far side. Lamato down the stairs side from Profitable and Sir Alexander. Muhara is clear though, clear, well clear. Muhara has taken them apart and wins the Commonwealth Cup. Lamato on the near side might have been second.
While the Commonwealth fell to Great Britain, the Coronation later showed that the French-rated Royal Ascot was one that was for real.
Away they go, local time, and the white cap was a little slow to begin. Arabian Queen going forward in the purple jacket from Miss Temple City. On the inside is Yasmin in the blue and white stripe cap. Found is very handy under Brian Moore. 2.5 lengths clear of Yasmin, Miss Temple City. Found is now being pulled out, then Sperry. Vedja begins to make ground in the green jacket. Lucida going to have to come very wide. Arabian Queen being cut back by Found. Found is challenging Arabian Queen. Then Sperry, Vedja coming through Miss Temple City. Right there, and Lucida is widest of all. It's Found out in front. Vedja is closing. So too Lucida down the outside. Found in Vedja. Two fabulous fillies. Vedja has just bested it. Vedja has nailed Found.
The Diamond Jubilee Stakes on Saturday bore a complete international look with representation from Australia's crack sprinters Brazen Beau and the Gay Waterhouse trained Wangina, not to mention the American speedball Undrafted trained by Wesley Ward.
They're lined up and away they go, and the Tropics a little bit slower. Brazen Beau handy on the near side in the bright yellow jacket. Ansgar goes forward far side from Astaire Mustajib, and then Lucky Christel on the right of that group. In Ansgar is the overall leader on the far side. Coming through is Astaire in the noseband. Brazen Beau's doing all right. Their music master due diligence is fading. Mustajib comes on the far side. So too Undrafted wide of the field under Frigidatory inside the final furlong. Brazen Beau on the stand side. Astaire music master. Undrafted is very wide as the race inside the final 100 yards. Brazen Beau this side. Undrafted. Frigidatory getting close. Doing best. Undrafted. The home to win the Diamond Jubilee from Brazen.
Undrafted brought a satisfactory closure to the week. It was a week that had all the ingredients that truly make horse racing the sport of kings and the king of sports. Well, and that's all we have on this episode of Horse Sense. Thank you for joining us. Remember, you can tweet us on @MohitLalvani with your suggestions and comments. Until I see you on the next episode, goodbye, and as always, may the horse be with you.